for the outright lead with Keith Mitchell in trouble over on the front nine.
He has obviously found something in his golf swing. Did not put his best move on this, but still found a piece of the green. This is going to come downhill, a little left to right to start, Justin. Then at the end, it's going to try and straighten out, maybe even inch back toward the back of the green.
Yeah, we've seen a number of players miss this putt to the left. Get surprised by the movement going towards the back of the green, as you mentioned. So good confident roll there. A little bit of work for his par. Over to 16.
Where just earlier, Victor Hovland was hitting his second from 232. Such a dangerous shot. Really easy to miss left today, that's for sure. That is going to be... Yeah, it'll be fine. Should be on a little bit of an upslope there, and as soft as the greens are,
be nice.
You can manage that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to watch that, see what Victor Hovland can do with it.
Back to 6.
Mitchell's made just one bogey today. Came in his very first hole when he teed off on the 10th. This for par.
There's several guys that are on the course now that didn't play a shot for 2 full days.
You might say that.
Mitchell's one of them. So he'd have been doing a lot of chipping and putting in the hotel room and watching the guys playing yesterday afternoon supper, probably with a big smile on his face.
So Mitchell's going to take a step back from that 8 under and back to 15.
And Tom Hoge cleaning up for par. So it looks like Tom Hoge now will be in a tie for the lead. Up at 16.
John Rahm with his second shot. This was also earlier. Trying to cut that one in to get it over this shoulder, and that's a fantastic shot from Ryan. Exactly what he was trying to do. He'll have it from about 12 or 15 feet down the hill, right to left. That's for eagle.
Anirban Lahiri over at the 14th for birdie. +1 to this point. But that one goes down. And Lahiri's back up to 5 under within 3. Look at this card. 3 bogeys out in 39. He eagles the 11th. And then he birdies the 14th to get a little closer. The 34-year-old from India. Best PGA Tour finish. Tie for second at Jack's Place 5 years ago. Couple of European wins. Now the DP World Tour. But he's way down in the world golf ranking, 322, trying to make some noise at the players. Over to 17.
And Cam Smith playing his second. Carries the ball up onto the upper level. It's a run out, nicely done. So chance to save his 3 and remain at 5 under. And we'll drop back to the 6th.
Just a little work left here for the bogey for Mitchell. Second of the day, as we mentioned. Back to 7 under he goes. Bogey had a chance to get to that 8 under number. Missed a short one earlier at the 13th. And back over to 17.
Joaquin Niemann, lengthy putt for birdie. As we go down, it will tie the lead, but that needs to go. To 16.
To 16. And Victor Hovland. Roger, you've been down here watching this young Norwegian. What's up?
Well, he's a little left of the green here. Pitch shot now over a mound. Made much simpler by softer conditions when hard and fast. This is kind of a scary little chip, but...
Yeah, it is. Oh, yes. That'll be a tap-in 4 for Hovland.
And over here at 17, Joaquin Niemann now with the par putt. There have been 21 3-putts recorded here at the par 3 throughout play so far, and this is the 40th playing of the Players' Championship here at the Stadium course. Most of those have come when players have left putts short from down the front of the green, just as Niemann has done here. So work left. He's going to stay at 6 under. Let's join Catherine Tappan.
All right, thanks so much. I'm here with Eric Van Rooyen. Eric, you teed off at 8:15 this morning. What were the conditions like throughout your round today?
Freezing this morning. You know, I wanted to throw a couple more layers on, but then I wouldn't be able to swing. So I was shivering out there, but right now it's absolutely beautiful. The course is still really wet. Even though it's slightly windy, it's quite playable.
And you ended on quite the high note today. Let's take a look at your 18th hole, which actually was hole number 9, and you're chipping on your 3rd shot.
Yeah, I had about 62 to the pin. You know, it looked like it was going to hit the flag, and I've done it a couple of times already the last couple rounds. So this time it just stayed fast and went in. So quite happy.
All happy, all smiles. What do you look forward to most about your next round?
I don't know. You know, they said they're going to do split tees. Obviously, we're trying to catch up with the time that we've lost. So just a little bit of lunch now, relax, and then get cracking again.
All right, Eric, thanks so much. The best mustache on tour, too.
Thank you.
Out to 17.
Where Cam Smith has his short putt for par. Okay, safely in Smith, one of those guys who lives here in the Jacksonville area, says he plays out here all the time and hasn't had a lot of success at the Players, saying that, you know, every time I went out there, I felt like I was going to practice. I'm trying to take it a little more seriously this week and doing well. So we go to 16.
John Rahm for eagle. This will be a right to lefter. Down the hill. Just doesn't turn as much as these players are reading into it. Should be a 4 for Rahm. We'll go to 7.
And Mitchell coming off his second bogey on the tee at the 7th.
Much easier wind. The shot today, it's coming off their right.
Should be fine.
Yep. Hold up, Marshall. Wait.
It was howling left or right yesterday.
Might have missed, but not by much. We're back over to 16.
Rahm just tidying up here. And Rahm, one of the really big guns that's kind of lurking here. I mean, he's 5 back. Plenty of golf left to play.
So Van Rooyen turns in the best round of the second round thus far, a 67. Bubba Watson had it yesterday with a 68, bogey-free round. But Zing, normally on a Sunday, we're trying to figure out who's going to win in the final round of the Players' Championship. But this is the very first time that the second round has bled into a Sunday in all of the Players' Championships. So how do the players focus on a week like this?
It's just a weird week. I mean, they feel like they've been here for a month, I'm sure. A lot of these guys. Yesterday, it was so absurd almost. The conditions were so severe that I think it took away kind of all expectations from those guys that were out competing. Well, now I think the expectations start to kick back in, and the reality is the magnitude of what they're trying to achieve this week is enormous. And so it's been a real head game, I think, all week for these players to stay in the game mentally. I'm sure the guys that didn't play the last 2 days chipped and putted in their room quite a bit, trying to get ready and wrap their minds around the idea that they're going to get out there maybe in those severe conditions, but they caught a great break. Other than the cold weather, and that doesn't hurt a good player, the wind is what neutralizes the best players in the world, and the wind has died down. A significant difference in the guys who played yesterday afternoon versus the wave that is out there today. Only one player in the top 16 teed off or played yesterday.
Whoa, Smith off the tough 18th. It never even had a breath of a chance.
That's one of the biggest duck hooks you will ever see from a good player, especially playing well.
This 18th hole has been historically difficult. Back to 16.
Sam Burns with his second shot. He's let that drift a little right. Oh, that looked dodgy to him from there, but on the putting surface. At the end of this one, and as long as that is, it's to tie for the lead. We go to 17.
Beautiful look down at the island green. Patrick Cantlay trying to figure out exactly what he's going to do. 2 over par. You have to make a decision here, Paul. Do you be aggressive, thinking the cut might be +1? Yeah, it's a big decision to make. Short iron in your hand here. You risk flying it all the way back to the hole.
Well, I'm down on the bubble in this situation, exactly where these guys are now, hovering at 2 over. And somehow in the back of your mind, you think you're okay at 2 over. They're going to stumble in the end, but they almost never do.
Cantley's played the hole well through the years. Green 11 of the 12 times he's played.
Well, it looks like he might need 1 more birdie. And certainly 1 more birdie's a lock to make the cut.
This is high and way left. A poor swing. That has to be extremely disappointing. It's the first time he's hit a ball in the water here at this hole in his career.
Not much more than a pitching wedge.
Yeah, I mean, that was 20 yards left of his target. Okay, Hovland set to play. Yes, that really is, with a pitching wedge in your hand. I mean, the green is, roughly 4,000 square feet. I mean, that's a fairly big target for a pitching wedge. Baseball's in the water and around since 2003. We're working on round 2, most in round 2, 31.
Those are the first 2 balls in the water, Gary, since yesterday afternoon.
Oh no. We've had some in today already. Yeah, no question. Those are actually the 11th and 12th balls we've seen in the water.
Most of them been long.
Good shot if it's the right distance. Okay, safe. Back to 16.
Sam Burns from miles away. The length is 76 feet. He's going to have to hit this 30.6% harder than if it were flat. Break 10 inches, and it's nearly 2 feet uphill. And with all that information, you really should make this. You're kidding. I was kidding. Wow. Sam Burns ties the lead with an improbable eagle at 16.
Perfect pace on that putt, David.
Oh, it was never anywhere else. Good look there. The dark patches into the grain. Uphill, crests the hill there, and then breaks a little left down the slope. Right in the center. Didn't even need the flagstick. Number 3 tied for the lead at 7. Burns, Hoagie, and Mitchell. We go over to 7.
Where Mitchell is really struggling. hit a poor second shot, Woody, and now what's he got?
A really difficult third. Obviously, he actually had his caddy, John Lamonte, go up and get a yardage for him, even though it's only a little over 40 yards. But he had some mud on that ball on the second shot, and it really just shot left on him. Something we'll watch for this afternoon is the tour's already announced that they're going to be playing it down. Watching for some mud balls. But that one was 100% a mud ball. Just shot it straight left off the club face.
Yeah, he's got to throw this up pretty high. It's landed a good 30 feet short of the hole, I would think.
Most as thickest rough we've ever seen here.
Yeah, it's straight up and down, too.
That's what he did, Zinger, straight up. Really good looking shot.
Yeah.
Man, if he can get out of here with a par, it'd be amazing. Especially the way he's played it. Well, as we've been talking about, with 3 atop the lead at 7 under, we are still a ways away from the conclusion of this 48 players. But considering that this week has already been one of the most challenging in the event's history, whoever ends up being the last man standing will have certainly earned it. The rains came early and they were relentless. Delays, suspensions. Then once they cleared out, Mother Nature turned on the fan and dropped the temperature on a helpless field.
It's as tough as golf as you're ever going to play. It's all about the mental grind and trying to stay committed when the wind's blowing.
Really tough conditions, tough to judge the distance. It's the wind, it's gusty, it's just inconsistent. It's just tough, man. Some of those holes on the back nine are just so exposed, like 16, 17, 18, it's brutal out there. 17, 18, you couldn't hardly stand up, especially to hit a golf shot. 17, you could be there all day. At that point, you're not even looking at the flag, you're just trying to put it on dry land and make a par and get out of there.
It's done.
It was a very, very tough day. I'm thrilled with how I played and how I competed. I just stayed very patient and executed well.
As they all march on for the latest title at the Players.
We could all use a little support, especially when it comes to our health. That's why Optum connects you with the care you need for your whole health, body and mind, every step of the way. Optum.
When you think of golf, I'm probably not what you picture.
It's time we change that.
And when you think of a future finance, picture
Me.
and me. And me.
And me.
Because everyone deserves a shot at success.
They ensure that no veteran feels alone. They amplify the voices of refugees. They prove our pets can save the day. They're Purple Paladins, everyday heroes with inspiring ideas who are changing our world with the support and resources of Grant Thornton's Purple Paladin program. And you can help. Ready to join the cause? Visit gt.com.
Keith Mitchell trying to stay in that 3-way tie for the lead at 7 under at the 7th.
He's one of only 2 players that have not missed inside 10 feet all week.
Just did not play the hole well.
No.
Still had a chance, but it's another bogey for Mitchell. All of a sudden, he's got 3 on this second round card. Back to 6 under. 2 tied for the lead. Burns and Hoagie. And we go back to 17.
Lengthy birdie putt for John Rahm up the slope. On a break, it's all about judging the speed, and he's done it well.
That leads us to our FedEx Cup summary, Gary. And John Rahm and Xander Schauffele, most top 5 finishes without winning the FedEx Cup since 2017. Seems like It's just a matter of time before they finally check that one off. John Rahm, of course, a major champion in his own right. And Scotty Scheffler, having won 2 of the last 3 events on the PGA Tour, taking Bay Hill, Arnie's event last week, sits atop the standings. He and Hideki Matsuyama, the only multiple winners on the 21-22 PGA Tour season. Send you to 16.
Tom Hoagie. Second shot from 241 yards. It's a good swing. Wants it to go. Oh, and that's wide. Well, you can see it gets a little wider the farther you go, so maybe the wrong club there.
Cam Smith having problems at 18. 4th shot, ball in the water. Hooked dramatically on him, and now he's just trying to get a bogey out of it. He might get it with his putting prowess. We shift back to 15.
And Anirban Lahiri, just 2 back. Long birdie try here, going through the depression there up the slope.
Yeah, really well judged. Yeah.
Pretty well judged. That leaves him with 3.5 feet to 17.
Victor Hovland has this short one for a double bogey after a tee shot finding the water. Patrick Cantley actually was not able to get up and down from the fringe. He made a 6 after his tee shot was rinsed. So even though there's not as much wind, Paul, there is still the potential. We've seen 3 7s here already today, and now a 6 from Cantley.
Yeah,
so,
still a dangerous golf course. Any miss hit out here, and you pay a price.
Update team.
This is Joaquin Neiman from long range for birdie. Active scorecard for the man from Chile, that is for sure. Hoping for the par at 18. The most difficult hole here, once again at the stadium course, to try to get into 5 under. Anirban Lahiri at 15.
And after par, stay within 2. Birdie hole coming up at the 16th. He's had a nice run here in the last 5 holes.
Move back over to 17. Sam Burns on the tee.
All of a sudden, Gary, this shot takes on a lot more significance after making eagle and tying the lead.
Well, look at the name just a couple below Burns, Harold Varner III. The last to come to 17, Gary, at 7 under, was Harold Varner III, who's made a nice comeback.
Huge comeback.
All right. Wind up high, across from the right, down low. Actually feeling like it's coming from your left. So potential for some confusion. Yeah, there you go. Good settle.
I don't like where that wind is.
That's a serious problem. Okay.
All right. Stay committed. Looking to bring it from the right. Is it going to carry up? Okay, just.
Not bad. You get it on the green with the lead, and
Yeah,
you got to be satisfied.
absolutely. Burns set to defend at the Dallas Bar Championship next week as we go to 8.
And Keith Mitchell on the tee here, coming off those 2 bogeys in a row. Missed his last 3 greens. Big target here, and a soft target as well. Good shot there from 204. Self at about 30 feet. Over to 16.
Tom Hoagie has from the very front edge here, and you a really good look at the grain there. He's going to be putting down the seam almost, or a little ridge that goes across the top where it flattens out. And Nota is there.
And David, we've talked about, when do people start thinking about the tee shot at 17? And Tom Hoagie was watching that last tee shot at 17 very intently, standing on the back of the 16th green here. So some players think about it when they first wake up in the morning. Some players think about it when they're on their way over there. Hoagie was trying to get as much information as he could. And as you talked about, a long effort here. He can take a pretty direct line with just a little left to right in this.
Over the slope. And it wants Has to break away there at the end. That's not a particularly good effort.
Yeah, over here at 18, Smith, 4 bogey.
Some save.
Would love to get a 5, and that's what he gets. Easily could have been double or worse. 71 for Smith, in at 4 under at his halfway point. Back to 17.
Paul Casey ready to play at 4 under par with a pitching wedge. That's safe. Casey's got to love that ball. 34 previous rounds here. He's plus 20. He's had 9 shots find the water. So
wow, that was a huge hurdle then for him
to be on land.
So he should be skipping around.
Absolutely. I should have a big smile on his face for sure. Up to 18.
And Neiman with this little par putt. You mentioned that win at Riviera, Zing. That was so impressive, historical in that regard. The way he went wire to wire, just an unbelievable performance. He's only 23 years old. And sometimes his name gets lost in the conversation of the young players today in their 20s, early 20s, in this case. That could be one of the real great ones later on.
Yeah, he's, slight build. He's not a big guy. He's got an incredible short game. Lets that one slide there. Tough bogey to finish.
At 6 bogeys, it'll be on Neiman's card. 5 birdies, though, as well. So a little bit of everything for Joaquin. 73. So he'll see how 4 under sits after we finally get through with the second round later this afternoon.
That's Brent Snedeker for birdie at 16.
Fuck.
And it doesn't
What
break
am I doing with my hands?
from that side of the hole. It does from where he is right now. From right to left. Ooh. Okay.
Wide.
And Brent will not be with us at the weekend.
Well, it is a bit of a breather before you get to the gauntlet at 17 and 18. A look at the stadium staff presented by Morgan Stanley. We center in on the par 5 16th, traditionally the easiest hole here at the stadium course, playing close to a half stroke under par. Players converting birdie or birdie half the time. In fact, the 16th accounts for more than a third of the total eagles made on the entire course. So if you stay out of the water, you can give yourself a little momentum heading to the island green in the difficult 18th.
Well, Tom Hoagie made 2 really good swings, maybe the second one with the wrong club. Would hate to 3-putt this for 5. Just doesn't turn that much. It's a good putt. Hit it where he wanted to. It's difficult to read. So a disappointing par 5. He stays tied for the lead. Let's go to 8.
And Keith Mitchell from just inside 32 feet. Ranked 3rd in strokes gained putting this week. He's picked up close to 5 shots on the field. Iron play hasn't been very good. He's been good on the greens, but have a little work left. Back over to 17.
Here it appears that Paul Casey will be first to putt. Birdie putt of over 53 feet. And a good look here. You can see the dark color grass that's uphill and into the grain. And the grain changes once he gets up on the upper level.
And with his record here on the 17th hole, I believe that hole probably is, as Note alluded to, he's probably one of those guys that wakes up in the morning worried about this hole. Just wanting to get by it. If you're close to the lead.
Carrying a lot of pace with the flag stick and does. Well, there you go.
Hey, I got maybe it owed him one. Absolutely, Gary.
Big time.
Casey had his best finish at the Players in last year's championship, finishing in a tie for 5th in his 14th start. And Paul Casey is bogey free in this second round. And just boom, right into the flags.
Yeah,
That's why you leave it in.
Little pace on.
Yeah.
That is better when you hit it direct.
That's right.
What a putt. What a huge birdie. Considering how he's played this hole in the past.
Yeah, moves to within 2 of the lead.
Feels like we should have some sort of celebration compared to what we saw yesterday. The carnage here at this Island Green.
You can't get this hole out of your head. If you have a chance to win this golf tournament, you know, it pops in your head. You have to keep telling yourself, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
All right, Sam Burns from just over 40 feet. Needs to go.
Still wide open face.
Over at the 9th.
How fucking open am I?
Now over at the 9th, Corey Connors with his 3rd shot.
Just open.
Oh, that's a beauty. He'll have a chance for 4.
Alright.
Well, yep, here's where John Rahm ended up.
I'm playing the ball too far back in my stance.
One birdie on this hole in this round.
Look how far
I
that
don't know
drive
what I'm
went,
doing.
292 yards. Yesterday, into the wind, the average drive was 248 yards.
It was unbelievable, Zing. 81 players yesterday in Saturday's play.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
81 players that averaged 5.04, 18 did. In the completion of round 1 and round 2, part of it, there were more quads than birdies here. That kind of day.
149 left for Ron. Beautiful tee shot here. And coming off the right, feels like there could be a shade of help in it. That's right of the hole.
Okay. Might get another one, Raj. Who knows? That could get Ron to 3 under. And back to 17.
And this just a moment ago, Abraham Answer had a chance for 2. Out here looked pretty good. Just speed to hold the line, but nice easy 3. And he'll remain at 5 under. And now Sam Burns. A bit of a knee knocker here from over 4 feet. Solid. So a group that actually plays the 17th under par. Pretty rare.
And Mitchell from 3.5 feet for his par. He's been playing some good golf this season. 3 top 10s.
He drives it so straight, Justin. I think that's a real asset for him. This is the kind of course, if you hit the fairway, you can score. You'll get a lot of wedge chances today.
And a good look down from above at the 17th on the tee. Tom Hoagie, man who leads the PGA Tour this season in par 3 scoring average.
He just took a big, deep breath and let it out real slow. Still an 8-iron from 136, Gary.
Better be a little chip.
Try not to spin it back.
Okay, crafty little shot. Up there on the upper level, hole high. Nicely done. One of the players that sits up a little laid off at the top, a little over to the side there, and kind of reroutes a little more on top of the ball coming through. I think that's one of the reasons why he's such a good iron player.
You know, he won at Pebble Beach earlier, and those are small greens.
Yeah, small greens here as well. Good 18.
Paul Casey ramming that birdie home at the Island Green. Now has to deal with the toughest hole, of course. So it is much easier, Zing. And again, the wind was coming off the left end yesterday, now coming off the right end. And how about this group here? Burns, Answer, and Casey, 7 under, 5 under, 5 under. In the position that they're in, Didn't look like he got all of that.
He let out a groan.
Yeah, what to say.
Well,
He didn't get it, but he's in the fairway.
Yeah, he just thinned it a long ways back. He didn't even hit driveway.
Here's that wind Zinger's talking about. More off of the right.
Easiest tee shot, really, when that wind's blowing off the right. These guys, it's like an invisible wall of protection over there on the right, and they just try to eliminate that left-hand side and let it eat.
And again, they brought this tee up for the second straight round. 436 it is. Some 26 yards shorter than the number on the card.
This is where I need to cut. I guarantee it will cut. This will be a draw.
They're looking for a draw. They're looking for the wind to kind of hold it up, but that is just hammered into that tree.
There's a lot of trouble over there. He might catch a gap, but a little unruly. Pine needles sticking straight up in the air over there.
Now Answer at 5 under as he steps in.
Aiming out to the right. See if he swings some kind of draw.
It's turning. And just slips inside the fairway grass. Burns had some problems here at 18. Casey hit it short. And up ahead of the green, John Rahm trying for a rare birdie, Roger, here at the last.
And a tough lead here. That looks like it wants to go left. I don't think it will. Green sort of falls way in back. I think it's pretty straight putt. I'd even drift right.
Rahm put his old putter back in play on Thursday. He said, I had one bad month putting, and why is everybody panicking? He said it just needed a timeout. He brought it back in play, and he's feeling better about the way he's rolling it.
These guys, I think a lot of them, they feel like a change is as good as a rest sometimes. Change your putter, get you out the door, makes you practice more.
This from 10 feet from and world number one takes advantage of the closest approach shot of this second round and delivers just the second birdie of the second round. Neesmith, the only other player to birdie it, and that'll give Rahm a very good feeling waiting his third round tee time.
Over at the 9th, the Canadian Corey Connors. Just for birdie. Get there. Ooh, he kicked himself. And that's a good round of golf, 69. Good in those conditions yesterday.
And this is Hovland for par, Raj.
And not too much. This is pretty much up the fall line. Could drip just right.
Talked about it earlier in the championship, Zing. Another high finish for Hovland. Tied for second at Bay Hill last week. It's what he has been doing with regularity around the world.
Terrible swing.
He's so consistent every category. Really doesn't have too many weaknesses. He was exposed a little bit in the bunkers last week, but conditions were so hard.
Came out of that one.
All right, where we go?
So this is an unfortunate finish for Hovland, who had it to 4 under through 13 holes. Bogeyed 14 and 15. Did birdie the par 5 16th, but a double at 17. And he's going to lose one here at 18.
And it can just all come undone so quickly here. He did all that work for 36 holes. It took a couple of days or more to get it all in. He fought hard to get to 3 under, and he's going to finish even par. Those are these 17 and 18th hole.
Yeah, it just deflates you. That's what this course does. 18 has claimed more than a few victims in the second round. It's going to probably be the hardest it's ever played in any round ever in this championship's history. Back to the Island Green.
Yeah, where Tom Hoagie has a very realistic birdie putt and a chance to take the outright lead. see this week he's ranked first in proximity to the hole, 121st in strokes gained putting. And he's also first in proximity to the hole, so those are pretty good stats. On a golf course like this. Slips by. 18.
Casey has quite a bit left here with his second.
He likes to hit a little draw. That wind's coming off his right just a hair. You can see the flags blowing up there by the tent. He needs a bounce.
That's from 205 yards out, when a lot of guys have been in the 145 range or so. Casey did not get all of that tee shot, but he gets it up close to the green. And here's where Burns ended up. He's on a bed of needles.
This is a spooky shot.
Yeah. Maybe that claim. Oh, here. That's right. Yep. 35. Yeah.
It's going low, it looks like.
And it always brings that water into play. If you don't catch it just right, or you don't peel it the way you want it.
And you slip on the straw. You know, it looks like he could go left and try to slide away from the water. And it also looks like he's could go right of that tree. I did just see him look up. He looked up again. Maybe he's going to poke it through a hole in that tree's up there.
He took one last look up, and he's going up top.
Sure is.
Oh. And it is buried in some of the thickest rough at the stadium course. Mounds in there. It's just going to be a matter of what kind of lie he's going to get, what kind of angle.
He did the hard part and shot it up through the gap. You can see the gap now from this angle. If you look up high, that's what he was shooting for. Might have caught it a hair heavy, but first things first, get it up over those trees.
And keep it right of the water. Answers next. Best position by far of the threesome here. And Answer will try to pay it off. So Ron make the second birdie at 18 in the entire second round. Answer will have another good look to get one back. Back at 17.
It'll be for his par to remain in that tie at 7 under. Okay, well done. Over at the ninth.
And this is where Keith Mitchell ended up, and John Wood is with this group.
Yeah, David drove it left onto the pine straw. Had a really good lie and a clean, line to lay it up, but his foot really slipped when he swung to go to swing off that pine straw, and just pulled it straight left. And this is basically another pitch out.
Too many pitches out, and that one stays on the short stuff. It's okay. Or you don't want to drop a shot at the par fives here. Golf course is so difficult. Now over at 16. We're seeing a lot of shots finish up short and left here, which leaves, oh boy, well, that's on the putting green. We saw Cameron Smith chip it from there very successfully.
Sam Burns with a third coming up here. Just a matter of what kind of lie he gets in here, Zing.
Well, that is the thickest rough. You alluded to that. And the way it's rained, they said it was 3.5, 4 inches before the tournament started, but it's got to be at least 5 inches by now, I would think, and it's moist. So this is one of those hack jobs, and you just try to plop it right onto the collar, just onto the front of the green, maybe.
Well, there was a time not too long ago when Sam Burns was playing some of the best golf in the world, if not the best. Was on a hot streak. Won for the second time at the Sanderson Farms Championship in his 21-22 season. He missed the cut at the Farmers. He missed the cut at Phoenix. Kind of got back on track last week on a difficult golf course at Bay Hill. Had a top 10 in Orlando.
If this ball's sitting on the ground, you won't see much follow through. If he likes his line, he can slide the club past the ball. It's going to fly a good distance there. Somewhere in between. It's hard to judge. The grass gets that thick and wet.
So Burns will try to avoid his fourth bogey of the round there at 18. Back on the tee, Terrell Hatton playing with Tom Hoagie, tied for the lead. Has just 5 back.
A smattering of applause.
Left.
Oh no, and that did almost hit the Ahinga.